Welcome, fellow seekers of challenge and triumph, to the SufferSooner podcast. Join us on a journey where ordinary souls embark on extraordinary endeavors. From the relentless grind of gravel to the punishing gauntlet that is triathlon, we've tasted our fair share of suffering. So fellow endurance warriors, let's lace up our shoes, strap on our goggles, and dive headfirst into the challenge, knowing that with every step, stroke, and pedal forward, we grow stronger together. All right, it's 2026. Woo, 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 woo. We survived 2025.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that happened.
Yeah. It was, when I a lot of this time, it's the classic New Year's thing. Like you kind of look back at the year before and you kind of look at all the stuff you've done. And to think we were doing, I think we said it before, we were doing Dirty Disco as the first race. That seems like 2 years ago, so long ago. It's
such a weird paradox, right? The year seems to fly by, and then I can't believe we're at the end of the year, or New Year, and then it's but wait, it seems like March was 2-3 years ago, like you said. When you start looking back, oh my gosh, it's been a long year, and it's oh, we've done Unbound, and I was like, but we did that 2 years ago, and I was like, well, I mean, you did it. I just I just basically suffered. Well, you pulled me along for the first half.
Yeah,
so that was nice.
I did my part.
Appreciate you doing that.
So we another thing too, with New Year's is I always like to thank be thankful for having another year, another trip around the sun.
That's right.
I'm thankful for my family, especially in the holidays and all that stuff.
Family for sure.
Having all the family and stuff. And then, I also want to say thank you to all the listeners that have shown their support and just, like the video, share with their friends, talk about it.
Yeah.
I've been real diligent about responding back to you guys and all that stuff and doing that stuff. I hope that we can do more of that in the future. So we're not going anywhere for 2026. Right. We have some pretty good goals that we're gonna talk about later in the show. But I just really want to thank everybody. Every time you like this video, every time you leave a comment, every time you share this with a friend, every time you interact with us, either at a race or, over Instagram or anything like that. It's super appreciated. It's, one of the things that I value is, people's time and, my time and their time and the fact that some people, choose to use some of their time to listen to us, which is awesome. I just am very, very thankful for that. And, I hope we bring some more entertaining stuff to you in the future, and that you guys continue to listen and show up and interact with us. And hopefully you like what's going on.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that, and I'd sent, I've coming out of the holiday season with, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's and all of that. And I sent a text to our family chat and just thanked all of our kids for coming up and enjoying Christmas with us. And I put in there, I kind of feel having that old person moment. I said, it's true what they say, as you get older, you really do appreciate that the most valuable gift is time.
Yep.
And that's a real thing. And you do take it for granted when you're young and you don't think about it so much, but as you get a little older, that becomes a very evident fact. And couldn't agree more. I mean, the fact that people take time out of their days to listen to us kind of, having a little bit of fun here and take the time to come up and say something to us at events. It's so awesome. So, very humbling. And I hope that we can just continue to grow the channel and get the engagement and produce content that people want to keep listening to and watching. So looking forward to it and really can't wait for what 2026 has in store.
I'm super stoked. So well, I don't know about you, Danny, but I used to be a huge resolution guy. I used to be this year, I'm gonna just smash all these goals and do all this stuff. So as I've gotten older, I've kind of mellowed it back a little bit, but I don't know. Have you ever been a resolutioners guy?
Yeah, I think early on I kind of got into the whole, hey, new year, new you, right?
Exactly.
So, and don't get me wrong. It's nice. It's a good way. If that's what it takes to motivate people, who am I to judge that? Go for it. Yeah, as I've gotten older, I don't really do the resolutions thing.
Do you write them? Did you used to write them down?
No.
And, like,
did I used to? No, which is probably why they never worked.
so I used to, so something I still kind of do is, I write down like my yearly goals for like swimming, biking, running. And then I put them in my training peaks on, January 1st.
Yeah.
And then I can like look back and see, did I of course, basically January 2nd, I've forgotten all about them. And, but I kind of look back and just kind of look like, did I improve or did I meet that goal that I set?
Yeah.
Like, let's say I wanted to swim, let's say 20 miles,
Right.
throughout the year or something like that. And, then you look back at all your training and you're like, oh, I got really close to that. So, a lot of times it was like, bike, 4,000 miles, I think was, I was looking through all my other stuff and I was, a couple of years because I was going through all my training peaks and stuff just to try to get a sense of what are the pitfalls I've fallen into, so just so I can plan for this year. Like a couple of times it was like 4,000 miles on the bike and then 5,000 miles on the bike and just kind of increasing and getting better at that kind of stuff. So
I mean, I do set goals. I don't do resolutions though. And I don't know how you draw the line between those two things.
That's a good question. Like, what is the difference, right? Is it just because you make it on New Year's?
I think it's a resolution. Yeah, it must be. Because I do have annual goals. Like last year, I had a goal of 6,000 miles on the bike, which for a lot of people, that's not as many as they ride, right? There's a lot of people, we know a lot of people that ride 7,000, 8,000, some even 10,000 miles a year. And that's great.
Danny's got a friend on Strava that rides at least 10,000.
I think he rides more than that.
I mean, he rides like 15, 20,000.
I mean,
that guy's riding almost like
pro level, right? Like in terms of volume. Yeah. And I love it when people have the time to do that. I wish I did. But that's awesome. Then there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm lucky if I can ride 2,000 a year. Yeah, and nothing wrong with that. So wherever you're at, I think it's good to have a goal. I've tried to. I think last year, going into 2024, I had set the goal for 5,000 miles and I hit it, and I hit like 5,500. And so I thought, oh, this year I could probably hit 6, right?
Yeah.
And I think I was on a pretty good track for it until I had like a 6-week hiatus and then got sick towards the end of the year. And like, how it is, you get towards the end of the year and you're like, yeah, it's just not going to happen. But I was pretty close and it was very attainable. So I got to revise that goal for next year, maybe make it like 6,500 or something. Cause I'm pretty sure I can hit it next year, but yeah, I mean, I set goals, but I don't do the resolutions thing. And I think a lot of that is, I think to me, it's sort of that stigma around like, well, whatever percentage of resolutions fail by the first 2 weeks and things like that. I'm like, I guess.
Yeah. The old adage that it takes 3 weeks to develop a good habit or whatever. So, yeah. And then of course, everybody's like, oh, I want to like eat super healthy. And it's basically, it starts day one.
So we were in Costco the other day.
Oh yeah.
And I love it this time of year because all the health food comes out.
And
I'm like, okay, wait a second. You didn't sell this stuff any other time of the year. Like
you didn't sell it in November,
right? Like,
no, it was $5.99 for a pumpkin pie.
Yeah, right. Yeah, tell me it's a gimmick without telling me it's a gimmick, right? Like, and I'm just like, so I see this protein energy bar is what it's called, and it's like advertising 8 grams of protein, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, 8 grams. Woo! I wonder how much sugar it has in it. But anyway, that's beside the point. Then in print underneath all of the coloring, the beautiful marketing, advertisement and logos on it and everything, in the print that kind of blends into the background, it says, not a good source of protein.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, well, wait a minute. It's 8 grams of protein, but it's not a good source of protein. This is confusing to me. I'm not sure but anyway, so I just think that the whole resolutions thing, like I'm sort of a skeptic by nature.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, this is just all marketing and a chance to just get people to spend their money. And like, I try not to buy into that stuff.
Yeah. Do you ever have any ones that you can remember that didn't work? Like
I have it every year.
Yeah. I mean, like, just like you were like, I'm going to do, I'm going to climb Everest. And you're like, oh, I never went there.
Yeah. No, most of mine have always been around, believe it or not, it's going to shock you. It's going to be like around weight loss.
Yeah.
Which is the most common resolution. I'm sure it is. And, there's been years where it did work where, probably it's been maybe 15 years ago, which is hard for me to say it out loud. Where I did P90X and it worked very well. Like I stuck with that for three rotations through I repeated it 3 times.
Yeah.
And it had great results. Like like the first time through, I followed the diet to the T. Like it was hard to do, but it gave me good results. So I did it a second time, and guess what? The diet I let slide a little bit because I was getting tired of eating
The same thing.
unsustainable diet, right?
Yeah.
Like, high protein, lower carb, but some, and then, moderate fat. And it's just like, you can only eat so much protein powder,
Yeah.
and finding ways to get that. So and then the third time through, the diet totally fell apart, but the workouts kept going.
Yeah.
So but you could tell like it doesn't work the same.
Yeah, it's not the same
Right.
if you don't do all the work,
So
all the things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the lesson in that is, just like we've all known, but you got to sometimes learn it yourself, is that you can't outwork your fork, or you can't you can't outspin it. So you gotta the weight loss stuff starts in the kitchen, guys.
Yep.
I know.
Everything starts in the kitchen. Yeah.
Right. So anyway.
Yeah, I had one where I was, this was back in when I first started triathlon and stuff, and I wanted to get a lot better at it. And of course, my weakness is always running. So I was like, well, I'm going to run a 5K every day in January, and that is going to supercharge my running for the year.
Yeah.
So I completed the goal. I did run a 5K every day. Okay. It wasn't always fast, but I did do it every day.
Okay.
Through the month of January.
Yeah.
And then I took about 4 months off of running.
Like,
so basically just, tanked every bit of gain that you could possibly get.
Yeah.
I made that mistake. Of course, it was, I want to say maybe 10, 15 years ago that I did that. It did teach me that you could do some stuff like that. You could do stuff every day.
Yeah.
A lot of people, especially now, they're like, oh, the rest days, and you got to have your rest day, and you got to do that. And yeah, you do if you're stressed and everything happens. There's caveats with that, with everything. You can't go out and ride 100 miles every single day and then expect to perform.
Right.
But you can do. For me, I find that if I take a full-on rest day, my body craves movement, so I have to do something every day. It may not be
to be the intensity.
Yeah, it may not be a heavy workout, but it's going to be something every day. So I did learn something from that.
Yeah.
But again, as far as it succeeding in what I wanted it to do,
not so
failed hard. Again, I did not find the runner's high on that whole month.
I'm telling you, it's because it doesn't exist.
Again, it does not exist. All you runners that believe that the runner's high exists,
you know what, that's the resolution for this year, is to find the runner's high.
I will find it.
Yeah, that's right.
I will find it.
I
will keep searching.
I think the thing about resolutions is that for a lot of folks, like, they put these aspirational kind of goals out there, which is awesome, which you should always do. But then the thing about resolutions is you default to unsustainable ways to get to that goal.
Right.
And that's why I think why they fail so much. It's just like, my wife and I were talking about this the other day about going to the gym, and how, obviously January 1st, the gym is just flooded with all these people that just signed up, which, hey, you know what? That is freaking awesome.
Yeah. And the thing is a handful of those people make it.
Will continue. 1 to 2% probably will continue on. And they found like their new love of life, which is amazing. I love that kind of stuff when that happens. But the thing is like, people go to the gym, and you know how this is, like you and I have kind of gone through our phases with strength blocks and putting those into your workouts and all that. And what do people always do when they go to the gym? They hit it too hard. Their bodies aren't prepared for that. They have muscle soreness for days after their first workout. And then
the super
DOMs, right? Yep. And they go in with this high ambition, which is awesome, but then they don't have an approach that's going to like work them into it. They think the results are just going to happen, and it just doesn't work that way, right? So guess what? Within a week, you're tired. You're like, I'm not going to go. I'm
not going to go.
Myself.
I can't even lift my arms.
Yeah, I'm just going to skip this day.
Yeah. So that brings us to the tips for if you're going to make resolutions. My biggest tip for any life-changing thing is start very small. Yeah. Especially if you're going to be like, you know what, I'm going to revamp my whole diet. Yeah. The whole idea is like, start with one thing. Start with just breakfast. Revamp breakfast to be like, maybe you're like, I'm going to go super protein,
or make small tweaks to your food choices.
Yeah. You're like, I'm gonna clean up breakfast. I'm gonna spend all of January just cleaning up my breakfast.
Yeah.
I used to not be a breakfast guy. I used to never eat breakfast. I hated eating breakfast. It was the worst.
My favorite meal of the day.
Yeah. So, but again, I had a resolution that I wanted to improve my diet and get, stronger and better and faster. And everybody says, you got to have breakfast, got to eat breakfast. And I'm like, oh, I hate breakfast. Like, F you guys.
Yeah. Right.
And so I basically took the long-term approach of just, you know what, I'm going to spend the month getting my breakfast down pat. Like, do I like eggs? Do I want protein? Do I want avocado toast? Do I want, Pop-Tarts? Like what is my, do I just eat cereal every day or oatmeal like I did when I was a teenager? I just ate oatmeal every
all the
day.
time.
Yeah. Now when I eat oatmeal, it like makes me gag. But like, something like that. Like, do you start with just the small little thing, or like a lot of times, like I always find like for this year is like, I noticed that I tend to not stay hydrated, or I don't drink enough water. That I just feel like my hydration stat. When I think about how much water I drink during the day, I drink great on the bike. I drink great when I'm running.
It's all the other time in between.
It's the time in between that I'm not drinking.
Sounds like me and nutrition.
Yeah. So it's like, so one of my resolutions for this year is to, drink, I have a tall Nalgene bottle. It's like 2 of those a day. Not outside of working. And so, that's gonna,
and not like all at once.
Not all at once to just chug it down. It's just like, no, just drink that throughout the day and then keep tabs on it. That's all I'm trying to do is keep tabs on it. So it's just, the things to making like these life-changing things, especially if you want to clean up your diet and all that stuff, is you want to start like with a simple meal. Like maybe you say like dinner and dessert are always like, those are where you struggle the most, where you'll be like, all right, well, let's fix dessert. Let's make dessert a healthier choice, right? And start going from there. Yeah.
I take a little different approach. I mean, I agree with everything you said. Totally agree with that.
Or do you just
small changes,
cut it all
well off? So I see New Year's. This is why I don't think of it as resolutions. I see New Year's as,
I think of it as like just personal reflection.
Well, it's definitely
like,
that
what do you want to accomplish for this
But one
year?
of the best things about New Year's, and I think what resonates about it, is it's a fresh start, right? So, and that's why I think it gets sort of the rap of like, ooh, New Year's resolutions and life's going to be different. Well, that's good, because it's a good opportunity for us to reflect and try to make ourselves better. So love that aspect of it. I think the way I tend to look at it is, what are some of the negative influences that I can just stop? See, like it's a lot easier to stop doing something than it is to start doing something in terms of like behavior. Like we talk about how it takes 3 weeks to build a good habit. It probably takes that long to drop a bad habit too.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I think of things like, hey, what are some things that I'm doing that I could just stop now? And just, if I just never do that again, is it going to make me a better person? Or is it going to help me attain the goal that I want to attain?
Like shooting up heroin.
Yeah. I mean, I got to really work on that, because I got to be train tracked here. We're not going to talk about that. And if there's anybody out there dealing with a heroin addiction, I hope you get the help you need. So,
yes, exactly.
Seriously.
Coming from a big family of addicts, please
right.
get help.
Seriously,
if you need help.
I use one as a chance to get help. But anyway, so I look at things, especially around diet. Like I have a real bad habit of eating sweets. And
he loves
like that.
the sweets.
I love the sweets off the bike. I love chocolate chip cookies and ice cream.
Yeah, I can pretty much talk him into that every day.
Yeah. So like for me, I start thinking of things like, hey, you know what? Let's just cut that stuff out. And it's a lot like my personality, the way I operate. Like it's real easy for me to say, you know what? Starting January 1st, drop kick that stuff. Now, there will be points in time where it'll kind of creep its way back in, and that's when the battle. To me, it's like, okay, don't let it creep too far in.
You're right.
And so you know me long enough. Like when I first started riding the bike on the road and started doing like, any type of distance stuff, what did I do? And like triathlon's a great example. I hadn't even done a sprint triathlon, and we're talking about doing a full Ironman. It's like, that's just kind of the way I am.
Yeah,
like I'm like,
Danny's either all in, he's just all on black.
Yeah.
Or I'm not just
right. And that's just how it is for me. Yeah. So that's kind of how I operate. I was like, what can I drop? It's a lot easier for me to stop things than it is to start something new. And then by stopping some of those things, it opens up the space to like incrementally put new things in its place.
Yeah.
And because like you got to fill that time with something.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You got to fill
yeah,
that.
you can't just sit there in the dark room
Right.
and hating yourself.
Exactly. So, so like when I say, hey, I'm going to cut out the sweets. Okay. So I'll cut those. That's not hard to do. So like today will be like the last day, you know, if it's today's the 31st, like today will be the last
got a
day.
whole tray of
Tomorrow,
cookies
yeah.
upstairs.
Then the next day, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Cause I mean, I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But then on the, so that's how I think of it. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I don't know, but that's just how I think of it. And generally speaking, like that has worked for me. Now, again, over time, things creep their way back in, and that's just where you got to figure out.
Yeah, that's just life, right?
Yeah.
Like you know, and I think too, like when you, especially at the New Year's and stuff, and around this time of year, you kind of like do some personal inventory.
Exactly.
And you're just like, I'd really like to clean up this part of my life or my attitude or whatever I do. And I think this is a good time to kind of like, you know, I'm a big visual guy. So like I do tend to write stuff down or have it like on a sticky note or I have it in a memo in my phone of just kind of the things I want to work on myself personally. But just, you know, whatever you have to do, like to kind of make that, again, if you think about it as cutting out the bad stuff or just focusing on improving the good stuff, either way, like making those positive changes is huge, because once you start making those changes, and if you do them a little bit at a time and you're not thinking like, oh, I'm just going to go all into carnivore diet and I'm just doing that right now because it's the latest fad, and you cut everything off. It's so hard because one, you're bucking against the whole diet, and then
shock. Your body's
shocked and your brain's just like, dude, what are we doing? Like, but if you just make the small changes and you think, you know what, in 3 or 4 months, I want to be fully on this train.
Yeah. And that's where it's like, these are like, I started thinking about like, what are the things I can do now that I can change, the smaller things I can change now that sort of set me up for success down the road. And that's what, again, why I think I like the whole new year, new beginning concept, which I think resonates very well. So anyway, that's where I'm at. And I'm even looking at it just in terms of like how I'm spending time and money, like just over the last few weeks. I'm like, what do I want to do in 26? What do I want to do more of in 26? Well, I want to do more. I'd love to do more remote riding, like gravel. Not that the gravel around where we live isn't great. It's nice. We're very fortunate. It is
the best gravel everywhere, but we'd like to like explore more of it. And some of the non, you know, like the non-Unbound or the non, you know, some of these roads we haven't, you know, nobody's been on, except for the rancher that lives there, you know, the farmer that lives there. So we'd like to, you know, do some more kind of stuff.
Exactly. So like getting kind of out in the more remote areas. I'd like to do more trips where it's like, hey, there's some gravel biking, but then there's some like awesome landscape views and like sort of, I don't want to say like, you know, backwoods camping and things like that, but like get out away from like the regular stuff, if you will. So what am I doing? Well, I mean, there's like projects I'm working on with my truck now, and like trying to do these little things that can help set up to make that more of a probability in 26. So exactly. Anyway,
so of course with you know, New Year's resolution and looking stuff back and that's the goal setting. Of course, we set goals for the podcast, and me and Danny have talked about this since, I don't know, maybe September or August. I think we were having this conversation about kind of the goals that we wanted to have for the podcast and for everybody out there. And so we've kind of settled on a few key things that we're going to focus on. So first up, there is a SufferSooner website. Now, if you go to www.SufferSooner.com, there will be a website with all of the links to coaching. There's a little intro. There's or a little bio about us and our philosophy on that, and a calendar. Right now, it's kind of it's in its infancy. It's going to have some changes.
We're going to build it out
a little bit more. Again, I'm the one kind of doing it in my free time with coaching and doing my recertification for coaching and all that stuff. So it's going to come along, but it's there. It's going to be useful. So like you'll be able to contact us and all that kind of stuff, more direct way through the email. I mean, you can, we check all this stuff,
social medias and all that.
But yeah, just something that we're going to give kind of like a space for kind of people. If everybody's resource. Like, well, what's SufferSooner? It's just like, oh, check this out.
Well, and I think too, while we love the podcast outlet and appreciate all the listeners that as we mentioned, I think it's another resource that if you want to know, like, what are we looking at in terms of events, or you want to know kind of where are we going to be at a given point in time, or you're just like, hey, you know what? I don't know what's going on out there. We're going to try to use our website to kind of centralize some of the calendar information and all of that. And just kind of help with like what events are we hearing about that we want to make sure to get the notoriety and get some folks to attend. So
yeah, especially in this area and stuff that people should be looking at and kind of like be on their radar for sure.
And then you mentioned the coaching side. It's not something we talk about a lot on the show here, but we know there are a lot of people out there that would like to get some kind of coaching, but they don't know where to start. And they'd also like coaching can be intimidating.
Yes.
In a lot of ways, like what am I actually signing up for?
Right.
And so I think what we really want to do is just offer a very accessible way for people to get some guided coaching. And it's, you're not signing up for a car payment every month to do these things. Like we want to make it very accessible and just help people that maybe are looking for a little bit more structure. We can start with that type of entry point. And then there are also folks out there that are a bit more advanced. They're like, hey, how do I really, like, I've been riding for a long time, but I haven't really thought about the structure or I've tried different programs. We can help with that as well. And really excited about some of that. And then we've got some ideas and some options that we're going to kind of work through that through the website. So stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's and give us some feedback too. If there's anything out there that you think would be good on there and we're not hitting the mark, then tell us.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And then another thing we're gonna work on is we're gonna work on our post-race production type stuff. So hopefully, if either me or Danny or both of us, if we finish within time of the leaders, before they pack up and leave, we'd like to get them an interview from them just post-race. Just a quick blurb and tell us how the race played out and all that kind of stuff, especially at the races that we're attending. And maybe we met somebody that was really cool on the race, and we're gonna interview them too, and then just kind of give our feedback on the race. So more post-race kind of production that will just kind of be released out there. So just giving just kind of letting giving back to you guys so that you guys have some cool stuff to kind of be like, I was at that race and I saw these guys and then they talked to me. Look, I'm semi-famous. Well, Danny and Travis's family, they all love us.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think too that we've talked a lot about it. We meet some really awesome people out in these different events, and I don't think there's not a good medium that's capturing sort of the history of it, but
I feel like some of this stuff gets lost. The story gets lost, and it's a cool story.
Yeah, and there's some really just interesting people that just have all these different backgrounds and walks of life that you run into. I think it's just so awesome. So just trying to capture some of that. I think we tend to take it for granted, like, oh, we did our gravel cycling event, or we did a triathlon, and we did it, and then I got my medal and we moved on. And it's like, I think that
I think for some people, like, I mean, when especially for me, sometimes when I show up at a triathlon event, for me, it's just kind of like I'm going through the motions of just doing the event. And so like, I really like to talk to, especially find like the new people and just kind of
how'd you get into this?
Yeah. How did you get it? How do you like it? Is this your first time? Like, what are you afraid of? Like, I really like, especially if you see me at triathlon, I love triathlon so much. I talk to everybody there. I know most of the people there because we're a very small community. You think gravel cyclists are small, like triathlon is even smaller. So I end up any triathlon I go to, I probably know like a majority of the people there.
Right.
So I end up talking to a lot of people. I really try to talk to first timers and, give them some pointers and stuff like that if I can, and help to ease their anxieties and stuff like that. And it's just getting more people into the sport. And I think like having those kind of stories and stuff that you can kind of look back on or share with your family, or like, hey, like, these guys were at this race and, they told me like, to watch out for this MMR because, the right side was really, horrible. And it basically saved my whole race. And, these guys are all right. So I just think having kind of those stories and just capturing them. And again, it's on the internet, so it'll be here until we get an EMP or whatever.
That's right.
And it nukes the whole electric rig.
Yeah, right. Can't get to it anymore. But yeah, I think just capturing a lot of that and making it available for folks is going to be good. And not only that, but there's a lot of times you hear about an event and you're like, oh, I wonder how that event is. Well, now we'll have record, and like you can go, somebody that's maybe curious about the event itself or is trying to dip their toe into gravel or new triathlon, they can go back and hear some of the stories from some average people that have done it, not hear a cat A racer.
The pro, so, I was out there. My goal was to get through the first on the swim. I kind of got out and then I just rode really hard. The course was pretty good, and then and then I just laid down a really solid run and just came away with a W. Like you see that all. Me and Danny make fun of that stuff.
Especially on the pro sports for sure.
Yeah. I watched a lot of football, side tangent, watched a lot of football this weekend because I had my father-in-law in town, and he loves football. And, and the first thing they do is like, so what are you going to do to win the game? It's like, well, the offense has got to, score some touchdowns, and the defense has got to make some big stops. And it's just
execute better.
Every single person said that. And it's just like, usually the person who scores the most wins.
That's how that works.
So it's just but just having some stories from different range of people, that's what we want to do. And we also want to like look into maybe like producing a more in-depth story. So like, again, if you guys know somebody who's like big into the gravel scene, or started out, way back when they were riding, 32C tires on gravel and thought that was the biggest it was going to be. And, started, maybe did like one of the first Dirty Kansas or something like that. Like that kind of story is very fascinating to us. And if it's fascinating to you, and somebody like that, like, please get in touch with us, because we would love to do something that would like kind of capture that whole scene or event or something like that.
And we've spent some time. I put together, I don't know, it's probably been three months ago now, put together a good outline for a multi-part sort of series that I don't want to give too much of the idea away here right now, but it's a multi-part sort of walkthrough of the sort of the history of the gravel scene in the Midwest here. But there are a lot of sort of hidden heroes that have helped gravel get to where it is. And not only that, but just how have helped events happen over the years. And I know there's some good stories in there we'd love to capture. So whether people that could help, provide some of that content in those interviews, but also if you have, experience and maybe, doing that type of filming and editing and that sort of stuff too, we'd love to get any feedback from people, because we've dabbled with this stuff, and
again, we're two goobers doing this. So like,
but
really in our spare time.
And something like that, I mean, it could be done on all sorts of different production levels. It could be done at. We're not looking to do $1 million project here, but definitely want to put some real effort into this, and it'd be really awesome to try to get something out this year that kind of goes in the spirit of that sort of multi-part series. If you have, like I said, if you have ideas or you want to know more about that, you can reach out to us, because I'm happy to share the idea. Just not quite ready to make it public yet. Until we have a good lead on exactly how we're going to make it happen. But that's some really exciting stuff. I'm excited for it.
So, and then I think one of the last goals we have is subscriber count. We want to be basically
the first stop.
The first stop for you guys for gravel. So Right now we have probably maybe 150 subscribers
across all the platforms.
Across all the platforms, which is, I know some of you guys have doubled up, which is fine. I mean, my mom subscribes to us on everything.
Well, and I got a lot of email accounts.
Yeah. And Danny's been doing that. So again, you know, we don't have a number, but we would just like to see some like growth, and we've seen growth for sure.
That's right.
Like
it's the only reason we're still doing it.
The only reason we're still doing it. I mean, we probably would still do it, just nobody would watch. But again, we would like to you know, say for you guys, like, share this with somebody you think would like this, or share it with, you know, any of your family who just think, you know, listen to these two goofballs talk about stuff. We are, you know, going to increase you know, some of the interviews and stuff. We're gonna try to have some more people on from different backgrounds and stuff, and just you know, we're working hard to increase the value for you. So, you know, if you like what we're doing, and you like what's going on, please share it, and you know, and you know, give a like, subscribe. It goes a long way. Again, I don't have any dreams of doing this, you know, basically this paying for stuff. I would really like it to basically pay for you know, for the travel and the race entries, and then we could give away even, you know, way more race entries and pay for stuff, and have more more community involvement and stuff. That's, I'm not looking to be, you know, $1 million podcaster.
And we're also trying, you know, we're not looking to get a bunch of sponsorships and things like that, and like have ad reads and things like that. Although this segment is brought to you by Topo Chico.
Right.
No,
exactly.
It's funny because I watch a lot of YouTube videos now since we canceled all of our TV subscriptions, and with YouTube Premium, when you fast forward, it will skip over sections of podcasts that are commonly skipped.
Oh, okay.
And almost every time it's the ad reads.
Yeah.
And which, you know, makes sense. But like, I understand why people do them. I'm not saying we would never do it, but we really would like to get to a point where that could be an option, and have that type of influence, to not to try to drive people to certain products and things like that, but to have a place where an organization would see value in trying to get their products here. And we're not trying to sell. Like, if you've ever listened to this, we've never tried to sell anything. But I also recognize, like, if that opportunity presents itself, it's only because we have quality listeners, and we just want to produce the content that they want to listen to. So it'd be good stuff. But yeah, I would love to grow the subscribership. I mean, we've more than doubled this year.
Yes, we have.
And
that's all, everyone who's listening, that's all thanks to you guys.
That's right.
Like, we've basically, you know, we've tried on our end to clean up, you know, our production, and we've done a little bit more editing.
Which, by the way, this episode is light on. We're trying to get it out quick.
Yeah, we're trying to get it out quick, because Danny's been busy with his finishing up the year. I have a bunch of stuff going on too. But,
so you notice the old school look to this this episode. I kind of like it.
Yeah, to kind of see where you came from.
Yeah, but
so
cool.
But yeah, so again, thanks everybody for listening. I think we got our favorite section now. Rapid fire.
Last segment, rapid fire.
Yep.
And
this is ChatGPT. Danny gives it the prompt, and I have to respond to it.
Yeah.
So if you've ever, you know, if you're a new listener to the rapid fire section, so I don't know what's coming. I don't know what he prompted it with, and it's just off the dome piece. This is all just straight out of straight from the hip. This
has to do with the whole concept around the resolutions and your training and all that good stuff. It's interesting. It says, are you actually training or just paying money to feel serious?
Yeah. I would say, like, in the middle of summer, that's basically what I do with my Trainer Road subscription. Is I just keep paying money
to feel serious.
Yeah, even though I'm like training, you know, outside and doing stuff, I just let all that stuff slide.
Yeah. I don't know. It's after we had the setback a few weeks ago, and now the holidays and everything. It's like, gosh, you got to find the compass again. All right, what's heavier right now, your bike or your excuses?
Oh, just the bike. I don't have any excuses other than, like, I've been doing stuff. I've been doing tons of home projects and stuff, but and the training's coming around. I've, you know, gotten in the pool a couple of times, and I've gotten on the bike. Everything feels good, and just not running though. and then I've been to the gym a bunch of times, so
So
it's still happening.
So how many workouts did you adjust? Because today just wasn't the day.
Oh, I adjust at least once a week. Are you kidding me? Like I'll Sunday when I make the training plans for all my athletes and stuff, I'm like, oh, and then I do it for me too. And I was like, oh, this week I'm gonna hit Tuesday hard and Wednesday, and then I'm like, oh, and then I don't check my calendar. I'm like, oh, Tuesday we're supposed to have family dinner, and that's all. I'm gonna have to adjust everything. So yeah, I adjust about every week. I adjust the workouts.
I mean, that's pretty normal in the off season. Well, in the base season like this, life just like I think I was telling you on our ride the other day, like this is a time of the year where like you have to do all the other life things that you didn't get done that you were putting off. So yeah, it's totally understandable. So what part of your plan are you ignoring but hoping it won't matter?
The long ride.
Dude, I missed my long ride last week, and I came back. I was like, oh, I still get a rest day on Monday, right? Yeah, I took the rest day, and then Tuesday I'm like, all right, I can't do that again.
Yeah,
so I did a tempo instead of a sweet spot.
Again, when you're staring down doing what 2.5 hours on the trainer or 2.5 or 3 hours outside in the cold, it's real easy to just be like, I hear laundry calling.
Feed the hogs.
I gotta
brush my teeth.
Yeah,
some homework to do.
I got some homework to do. Oh, look at the time.
Look at the time. You always got to quote that movie.
Yeah.
So, this is actually a very timely one. This is a good one. If Strava went down tomorrow, would your training still exist?
Yeah.
It's funny. We were talking about that before we started recording.
Exactly.
I still do a lot on Strava.
Danny is a Strava addict.
Well, I like to see what people are doing. It gives me ideas. I especially like seeing routes that people are riding because it gives me ideas on different roads and stuff we could be on. This time of year is a little tough because so many people are inside, so you don't see a lot. But
you see your competition if they're actually doing stuff. Or
by the way,
dark.
There's a few people that look like they've gone dark, and I'm like, you know what? I just hope you don't come back too soon. Stay dark for a while, will you? It's funny because Strava had the big spat with Garmin a few months back, and it's like, that's interesting.
Basically when I just was like, I'm done.
See you later, Strava.
I'll see you later.
Yeah,
I used to be a little Strava junkie too.
Yeah, and it's like there's like I don't think it's a dopamine hit for me. I think it's more just I like to see what other folks are doing, and Garmin's if Garmin had a better news or like a feed type system, I think it would be the end of Strava. Yeah, I think Garmin just and whatever. I'm not here to strategize for them, but anyway, I'm not really tied to Strava as much. I don't really care. I like to see what people are doing. I like to give the thumbs up, and I hope people like that kind of stuff. So
I always I get my little like Strava dopamine hit of what people are doing for my athletes because I check on them to make sure they're doing stuff and respond back to them. So it's kind of like now I don't do that for everybody else because I'm too busy making sure my guys and gals are doing stuff.
Yeah. So as the year has wound down, this is the last one. As the year has wound down, okay, and you kind of thought about your performance and your training, and you're in the base phase, you're getting ready, you're trying to get all set up for 2026. As the year wound down, have you said next year will be different more than twice?
Oh yeah. I say next year will be different every time I like see something that I just didn't do.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, like, oh, I got sick. Well, next year will be different. Oh, I took June off. Next year will be different. Oh, I went out too hard at this race in the beginning.
Yeah.
Next year is going to be different.
Yeah.
I'm really, one of my resolutions for this year is on races that are not a race.
Yeah.
Or a specific, type of event. They are going to be heavily structured and well defined.
All right, I'm going to put a marker on this and find out if that held up.
So again, stay tuned to see if it works. Most resolutions don't last after 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so
right.
Luckily, we're not racing
that's
next
funny.
week or so.
Yeah, I do think, and that's what I love again about sort of a fresh start to the year. It's like, hey, it's a chance to sort of, again, stop doing the bad things and start doing some of the better things, right? And I think it's easy. We talked about the different races, and it's easy to get that bib plate on and just start hammering.
Well, it's for me, it's going to be the beginning of the race is going to be more thought out for me. Now, if I find myself in a position where I can make something happen,
sure,
then I'm going to make something happen. You got to go, because those chances don't ever like happen. Like you never know, but I am not going to try to force things like I usually do in the beginning. And then just kind of like, not going to see
a
little bit more control, a little bit more planned out.
Not going to see you like we did at the one race where you take a flyer on mile 0.5.
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody's like, why is he pulling the front?
Yeah, no. So it's going to be a little bit more, again, I have a habit of not looking at the race profile until the night before. Like it's just, I've made some changes in my plan to go towards like racing that is going to be a little bit more structured, a little bit more planned out, thought out, have more of a plan and try to stick to it.
I think what I like the most is like, talk about haven't really set the resolutions and all that kind of stuff, but there have been goals. And I will say it's been it's been awesome to kind of look back over the last 3 or 4 years and just sort of see the progression of, evolving as a rider and just getting better and better. In different ways, right? It's not always, this is the thing, it's not always FTP and all of that. It's like resilience is a big thing, durability, tactics, just smart, just being aware of like, and not always following somebody's attack and those types of things, like just all those little things. It's been fun, and I'm really anxious to see what 26 is going to have, because there's some big race goals, independent race goals, which we'll cover in future episodes. And I can't wait to talk about those, but it's going to be a lot of fun to just see how this year unfolds. I'll say it that way.
I'm very excited for sure.
So cool.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. Again, like, favorite, subscribe, get your friends on. The sooner we meet the goals, the better.
That's right.
It's always good. Again, thank you all so much for listening, and we'll talk to you later.